Hi everyone, my name is Henry from Quick Civil Series. Now let's continue our discussion on the truss modeling. Now we have read the truss from AutoCAD, but before we go on to the loading of the truss, I will want to show you how you can also create this in using our software direct, without going through AutoCAD and trying to read. Okay, now reading from AutoCAD is very good, but as I said earlier, you have to be very careful so that you don't complicate your life. Okay, because if you make mistake in any of the node, it might take you time to trace it. Now I want to show you how to do the same thing using our software. Okay, how you can create, especially for a simple trusses. You might not necessarily need to waste your time going to AutoCAD to go and create in AutoCAD, then read into our software. It might not be necessary, because in our software we have actually built in quite a lot of safeguards that will make modeling of the trusses much more easier for you. Okay, now let me go ahead and show you how it works. Of course, the usual thing: click on File, click on New Project. Okay, good. Then the next thing is for us to create the grids. Just as you can see, these grids that came in automatic, for us to create it. The first thing you will notice, of course, that the x-axis grids, these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are all at an interval of 3 meters, and then the y-axis is at an interval of 4 meters, and if you can see, it starts at 2 meter by 2 meter interval from the beginning coordinates. So I can create the same thing. First of all, I'll go to Tools. I'll click on Drawing Grid Properties, and I'll click on Edit X-axis Grid. I'll say Create New Drawing Grid. Now I will add the grid by myself. Now the first distance is 2000. Now the second distance is that'll be 2000 plus 3, that is 5000. The third distance is going to be 8. The fourth one is going to be 11, and then the last one is going to be 14,000. This is actually how you can create a user-defined grid using our software. Okay, it's quite very simple and straightforward. Okay, then the next thing you can see, to do what I've just done, I have to click on Edit X-axis, and then of course another dialog comes in, and you click again to come to this particular dialog, and you add the grids. Of course, very simple. You don't need to bother about the user grid line name. Okay, now the next, I will create the Y grid. The first one on the Y is 2000, and then the next one is 6000, measuring downward. Okay, so that's it. The grid is created. I'll just have to check user defined grid and uncheck the software own system grid. Okay, so you can see we have our grid. The next, of course, is to create the elements. Now we have little quick ways of creating the elements that can make it a little bit easier. Okay, when you want to connect the elements to minimize mistake. Now if I want, I can take the vertical members first, and then or I can take the horizontal members first, then later the verticals, or usually you can take the top chord, the bottom chord, then the verticals. Okay, then later you can now connect the internal ones. Okay, fine. Let's take the bottom chord first. Just go to Steel Structures, click on my element, all I need to do, because the horizontal member, make sure the orthogonal is on, make sure the object snap is on. Okay, then it will always snap. This is my first element, the second one, or third one. In case you make mistake, to make it quicker, you can just bring up the element property, select the element. If I want to remove this element tray, for instance, and then delete selected. Yes, close. You can see element is gone. So I can go back click, pull the element, or you can actually right click to create another element. Then I have the bottom chord. The next, I can take the top chord. I can right click to repeat the last command. So you can see I have the top chord. Then next, I can put the vertical elements. Now, because in putting the vertical elements, right, I will want to touch between of course the top and the bottom chord. To make it easier, I can set this mode, element contact mode. What this mode does is, if the element you are trying to insert does not touch any two elements in the top and in each two start point and the end point, it will not, the software will not allow you to drop it. Okay, now I can select this and click. Let me show you one usefulness of this. If I click this, I want to stop here. You can see the software will not allow you to drop the element. This is very useful, especially when you have very complicated trusses, because the good thing about truss is that, or the difficulty about truss modeling is that if the elements did not connect to each other, then already we have a failure, because trusses must connect, or the nodes must connect, or the joints must connect. Okay, so what we did is to build in these little safeguards, just to make sure that to minimize the mistakes to a very large minimum. Okay, like as I when I uncheck this and I want to drop, could be something happened, you want to drop an element and you didn't know that you have not actually you want to drop an element, you didn't know you don't actually drop it very well, within the nodes, it will not allow you to drop. Okay, it's very important. So I can just click on this and then continue dropping the elements. Click this and then click this, it will give me access. Then this one again, it will give me access. I can drop. Okay, the next, I can connect the inclined ones. Okay, then I can start here. In this case, I have to go and remove orthogonal. Okay, go back to my still modeling. Okay, so that's it. You can see using our software is also quite very easy to create the truss system. Okay, it's quite very easy. We are actually building quite a lot of safeguards just to make sure that you we minimize the mistakes that you are likely to make, doing your modeling. Okay, and it's quite very easy. I mean, if you are doing quite a very simple, if the truss did not come in AutoCAD, then I would certainly advise you create it direct with the software instead of going to AutoCAD to go and create it. Okay, you can easily do it with the software. Okay, now next we're going to continue. I'll show you how you can load the trusses. Okay, how you can load your truss and put in the point loads. Okay,